YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Ascension Capitals, man. AC with the cold heat. And we're tapping back in, man, with another Ascension recap. So, I got a trade idea from Monday that I want to review with you guys. So, without further ado, let's just jump straight into price. Alright, so on Monday, the first thing that I noticed was on Sunday night, we opened up with a gap in the market, which was this gap from Sunday open. And then coming into Monday, London open, we had this big push down in the market. And what I was expecting there was probably, we set in the low here. As you can see, this was the low that got set in, and I was expecting price to pull back, fill at least 50% of that imbalance, and continue to the downside following structure on the 15-minute time frame. But as you can see, price put in a new low here with a breaker structure. So this was, whoa, wrong one. This was a continuation of bearish sentiment. So as that low got broken, my new high got set in, which was here, which was, boom, my M15 swing high. So now I have, why is this still dark like that? Let's change this to a little lighter so I can see. As y'all can see, I changed my layout again to some darker kind of scheme, but it feels a lot better on my eyes, to say the least. But so I'm going to stick with this for now. But I do love the classic white background because everything kind of pops, but the black background is very subtle on the eyes. So yeah, anyway, so boom, we set in a new price range, which is swing high to swing low. So what I was looking for was a continuation of the bears to the downside. So pretty much, well, essentially what I was looking for was a pullback into premium pricing in this price leg to continue price to the downside here. So as I was waiting for that, I started to map out my supply and demand areas. So looking at price, the first thing that stood out to me was this valid extreme bearish point of interest here. So this is where I was expecting price to pull back to, for me to look for confirmations to take price to the new informed swing low down here. So let's play price forward as I got to my session. So price is now around 8:15. So I usually start, damn, I can't even talk. I usually start to trade around 8:30. So I'll get to usually the charts a little bit earlier than that, maybe like 8:25, 8:20 to kind of do a pre-market analysis. So boom, playing price forward, price comes into this point of interest here. So now price is giving me what I'm looking for during this session, and this is when I drop down to the 1 minute time frame to start to look for my confirmations. So let's play price in here. So now I want to map out 1 minute structure to see what price is doing in real time on the 1 minute, so I can look for my confirmation, which is the shift in sentiment, that first shift in sentiment, to tell me that, okay, the buyers are no longer in control on the 1 minute, and I'm starting to see the shift in the market. So the first thing I'm looking for is the shift from bullish to bearish. So first thing I see, if I'm looking at price, the first thing that automatically stands out to me is this whole entire leg right here is a bullish leg. So I want to map out, marking out the breaks, breaker structure to the upside. 1 minute is still breaking structure to the upside, and again we're still breaking structure to the upside. So the last significant high and low of the current range right now as price stands would be this high, this lower high, this higher high. So now I want to be patient to see, will price shift a low after touching my point of interest for me to look for confirmations for price to go to the downside. So looking for a sell-off here, but let's play price out in real time to see what it's doing. I have to change this to green because this marks my 1 minute internal structure. So yeah, let's continue to do that. Internal, get everything aligned. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, let's continue to play price out and structure. So one thing I'm looking for is that shift. So boom, as you can see, price is continuing to climb higher inside of this point of interest here. Playing price forward again, still waiting for my confirmation here. Thanks, out there. You're on camera, say hi. I said you're on camera, say hi.
Hi.
Hi, world. Okay.
It's live.
Yeah. No. It's a recording. Anyway, so yeah, guys. Now I'm looking for that 1 minute shift in sentiment still. So now my new defined low to signify a shift in structure for me will be this low. And let me, is my computer plugged in? Because I'm about to, my shit looking like it's gonna fold on me. All right, guys. So playing price forward here, seeing what price is going to do. And initially we get a shift in structure. So now we have shift from a buyer's market to a seller's market, and this will be labeled as my change in sentiment or my change of character, confirming that price is no longer bullish but now bearish. So now this is when I started to look for an entry in this price leg. So the first thing that I saw was we had a volume imbalance that was filled here, and it was filled beautifully because it had a wick rejection and then instantly shied away from this area. So we have a volume imbalance fill. Now just based off of this piece of price action here, I determine this as, you know, a fill on volume with this whole volume imbalance here. And I was thinking at the time that price had no reason to come back up into this area because price action is efficient in this zone. So looking for my first entry, I decided to go with this whole consolidation zone here, which was that last kind of consolidation before price broke structure to the downside. So this is where I set my limit, and I already had it drawn out, so I won't have to redraw it again, so I can know all of the correct damn, do I have to redraw it? No, not there, not here. Damn, where is it? Where is she? Where is she? Give me a second, guys. I'm kind of struggling here. Damn, I'm kind of sworn I had that shit drawn out already. Alright, anyway, so from this point in the market, this is when I decided to set my limit from here to my stop was just above this wick here. And yeah, it was about a 6.6 stop loss, and looking for a 1 to 3. And again, we're looking for that continuation on the 15-minute time frame, but we're more zoomed in looking for confirmations on the 1 minute time frame. So looking for a 1 to 3 here and waiting for price to pull back into my area of interest, tag me in, and to take price to the downside. So let's play price forward and see what it does. Initially I get tagged into my entry. Whoa, why is it doing that? I get tagged into my entry literally maybe within the next minute. And let's play price forward and see what it does. So we start to deliver for a little bit, and we start to pull back quite strongly, and boom, I got stopped out. So I'll pop it up on the screen here, the trading result from this first entry that I had. But the thing about this entry, this was according to plan. This is one of those things that just happened to be in the probabilities of my trading plan. But one thing that I would have done different here, let's give my stop a little bit more room and probably take a median entry, because there is still all of this that price could potentially sweep out before we take price down. You know what I'm saying? So what I would have done different here would have had my entry maybe at the median of this order block and had my stops a bit higher, meaning I would have to extend my target, but I would have been more comfortable with the entry like so. But even so, I still would have been stopped out. So yeah, but looking in retrospect, I would have been able to at least capitalize on a break even in this scenario if I would have gone with a different entry. But my entry was my entry, and I took a loss according to plan. So in this scenario, let's get a reread on price. So price is still respecting this 1 minute leg here as I was getting stopped out, and we continue to break structure to the downside. So in this scenario, we put in a new leg, which was swing high to swing low, and once price was putting in this new leg here, we broke higher. So price shifted back bullish temporarily, and which is normal because price action is doing what it's doing, but we're still favoring shorts in this market. So let's label this as a change of character because we had a shift back in the market. So let me see what's going on here. Yeah, let me go ahead and take care of this really quickly. So yeah, all right guys, so back to where we were in price. Yeah, so price shifted back to bullish. So now I'm still favoring sells on this day, but I need to wait for another realignment for me to try to get back into the market again, because I'm not looking for longs today. So now I'm waiting for those 1 minute swing low to be broken. So let's play price forward and see what it's doing. Given the pullback on the 1 minute time frame, and initially we come to wick the 1 minute low. As you can see, we didn't break past it, but we did sweep it. So we have a sweep of the 1 minute low. Still waiting for that break. Play price forward, it's doing what it's doing. Revisiting the low, and then eventually we come back to break the low again. So now price is giving me another realignment from bullish to bearish, and I decided to get in on my second trade idea of the day once price shifted back to bearish, because this is aligning with my bias. So I can already see price kind of respected this zone in here, so I don't really see price pulling back to above this area here, because these orders in here have been filled. Not to say it can't happen, but it's not in a strong possibility. So now we have our new 1 minute swing range. Well, not exactly, but we do have our 1 minute swing high, which would be the deepest pullback before the break, which we already swept the low here. So in this case, it will be this high. So now here goes my new 1 minute swing high. So now I'm gearing up for sales and to see if I can get into the market. So another thing that popped out to me in this price leg was this volume imbalance that got filled here. You always want to pay attention to volume imbalances because they're kind of give you, a good depiction on, okay, prices already came from this area and it might not return to that area. You know what I'm saying? Because volume imbalance is an influx of orders. So if these orders got filled in here with this tiny little wick, I don't see price coming back to that level. But again, not to say it can't happen, but the probabilities of seeing that just aren't as high. So the first area of interest that I see was this area here that I was looking to get involved from sales. And I was also on a live call with my boy Thad at the time, and we were looking to get in from this level. As you can see, price did not yet tap into this whole consolidation expansion zone that also broken previous structure. So this was the area that I was looking to get involved from. So if I can draw this as a liquid high, meaning price will probably sweep this high here. If I can draw it right, that'd be great. I'm always trying to draw something perfect though. That's one thing about me. So boom, we have liquidity resting just before this bearish order block here, and let's play price forward and see what it does here. So playing price forward, boom, we barely, you got to get real intricate with price action on the 1 minute. That's just one thing you'll understand with time. So price ended up sweeping the previous liquidity inside of the leg, but it didn't, and it still had not yet tapped into this zone. So I got to keep in mind that this zone is still valid here. Like, I can't rule out this zone as a possibility of price pulling back to here. So boom, I had a limit set for there, and well, I don't think I had a limit set at the time because it kind of happened really fast, but I was looking to set my limit here, but price never did tag me in. So, or price action happened rather fast, so I wasn't able to get tapped in. So all I'm looking for is the continuation on price action right now. So another point of interest that I marked, or important levels of price that I was marking out, was this low here. So if price were to break this low here, then I will look for more of a continuation. So as you can see, price pushed down instantly after sweeping this high, which tells me there was liquidity above this wick here because of the volume that came after that. So next, playing price forward, we got the break below. So now I'm continuing price action and looking for another entry because I missed my first one. So now in this scenario, I was looking for price to pull back to the area of interest like so, from the high of the wick that swept previous liquidity and down to this actual low. So this whole kind of consolidation, or this whole kind of buy sweep of liquidity to sell zone, is my next area of interest. So in this scenario, this is where I decided to market execute on the next pullback. So now I'm waiting for price to pull back into this area, fill this imbalance, and continue to rally to the downside. So if I pull back out my parameter tool, because I've already had that one drawn, I hope at least. Oh, come on, bro. Yeah. So this was my new and improved position that I was looking to get in for. So waiting patiently for price here to pull back to tag me in. And the reason my stop loss is so huge here, because remember, price still had not yet tagged into this point of interest up here, although we did break structure to the downside. But this structure isn't very strong here. Like, this type of structure isn't very strong, so price could indeed come back very deeper tag into here and then start to give me the move that I was looking for. So the reasons why I had such a big stop loss but still targeting a 1 2 3, but I have to keep in mind that the 15-minute low isn't very too far, and this is what our whole trade idea is based off of. So I decided to extend my take profit to the 15-minute low to kind of maximize the gain on this position here. But yeah, I was looking to secure most of the profit at a 1 2 3 though. That's just standard, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, coming back into price action, looking for price to tag me in. So playing price forward here, let's see what she does. And price comes back in, tags me into my entry, and once it first tags me in, we get a nice reaction. And let's play price forward and see what it does. Whoa. See, we came all the way back to that first level of interest that I was looking at. But keep in mind, keep in mind though, there was still, if I can delete this other one, that'd be nice. Give me a second here, delete that. There was still liquidity resting above this high. So as you can see, price did race to that literally after breaking the next kind of internal point. So at this point, I'm thinking, holy shit, price racing and drawdown, but nevertheless, I am anticipating this move. So let's kind of see how price kind of plays out. So in this area, price started to consolidate, but nevertheless, the price action is looking quite nice in this area of interest because we're kind of consolidating and we're kind of loading up for a big move, it looks like. So in that case, when price started to come back toward my entry, this is when I decided to add another position on to the open trade already, just because price is looking really nice and I'm feeling pretty confident in this position. So I added another position to this trade idea and we started to deliver. So in theory, this will be my first break-even point, but since price is so close to my entry still, playing price forward a bit, so ideally this would be my first break-even point. But like I said, price was still close to my entry, so I wanted to give price some more breathing room, or I wanted to see more price action form before I decided to roll my stop to break even. And yeah, let's just play price forward and see what it does here. So we pull back, get a nice pullback, and at this point here, when price broken below this low, this is when I decided to roll my stop to break even, to take my risk off of the table. So at this point, I'm feeling pretty good about the position. I'm no longer risking anything, and we're just kind of patient to see how the trade will play out. So price starts doing what it's doing, and we're starting to deliver and profit. So playing price forward, it's doing what it's doing, and we have a pullback. But at this pullback, I do see another level of interest that price could respect to continue to the downside. So let's play price forward and see if it respects this level and continue to the downside. So yeah, once I saw price broken this internal level here, or this internal break here, then I have a lot more confidence in the position as we continue to break to the downside. So now we're floating, looking nice in this position. We already came back and mitigated something internal, and we continue to rally to the downside. So price is doing what it's doing, continue to drop to the downside, and at this level here, we reach a 1 to 3. So once price smashes my target, this is when I close my first position in full, and I close 95% of the second position, and I let the remaining 5% run to the 15-minute lows. So already secured profit here, and playing price forward, we eventually come to, wow, got really close to my target, and then we eventually come to smash, take profit. So in general, pretty intricate trade idea, I would say, just because we were kind of looking at price action in a very detailed manner. But I'll pop up the trading summary for this position and everything. But yeah, it was a pretty good trading day, I would have to say. But yeah, guys, this was the trade idea from Monday. Yeah, gotta keep continuing to take good trades, making sure I'm following my plan, making sure I'm keeping my risk at you know, a reasonable amount. And yeah, man, just keep showing up and actually making sure I'm taking those high probable setups, because that'll ultimately get you there, man. Take the good setups, and I feel like that's really the most thing you have to do. Filter out the low probable setups and really learn to sit on your hands. Some days can be harder than others because, you know, we're human. Some days you get a little antsy and it's like, fuck, I want to take a trade today. But no, bro, it's not there for you today. But yeah, guys, this was my trade recap for today and how I made $592 from this trade. So yeah, guys, that's all I already got for this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. So peace for now.
I'm really sorry I made it, and we can't even have a conversation anymore. My number's not the same. Damn, I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. The VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. Everybody say they wanna see me score, but these days I don't really know no more. Hey, motherfuckers really hurt my core. If I keep up cool, we gon' pull my car. I'm on the same bullshit like a matador. The VA sound like a dinosaur. Pretty little bitch that I ignore. She wanna get nailed to a 2x4. And everybody say they wanna see me score.